Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It's Friday, April the 10th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market is set to open slightly lower with ASX futures down just 8 points. Investors turn cautious following the relief rally on global markets with a fragile ceasefire holding between the United States and Iran. Crude prices seesawed as markets wait for Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But investor sentiment improved during the session on Wall Street, with Israel saying it was ready to begin peace talks with Lebanon that would also include disarming Hezbollah. The major US stock indices rebounded from an earlier dip, with the S&P 500 moving back above its 100 and 200-day moving averages. Consumer discretionary stocks were among the best performers, boosted by Amazon after it revealed that its AI services at its cloud computing unit are generating annualized revenue of more than $15 billion. Software stocks suffered as fears over disruptions from advances in AI returned, with enterprise software developer Atlassian falling heavily, along with Workday, Photoshop maker Adobe, and enterprise cloud firm Salesforce. Cybersecurity firms were also caught up in the sell-off. Applied Digital shares dropped after the data center operator's third quarter net loss widened from a year ago. Tesla advanced on reports that it's developing a new, smaller, cheaper electric SUV. And shares of Corona beer maker Constellation Brands surged after posting a smaller than expected drop in fourth quarter sales. Well, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he's seeking direct talks with Lebanon as it attacks on Hezbollah risk derailing US-Iran talks planned for this weekend in Pakistan. But there's still no sign Iran has lifted its near total blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which has caused the worst disruption to global energy supplies in history. In the US, the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index increased 0.4% in February, the largest increase in a year, reflecting strong price growth of recreational goods and vehicles, as well as clothing and footwear, while the cost of fuel jumped 1.4% in anticipation of the war. Economists expect inflation to have surged in March, with the CPI forecast to be 1% higher on a monthly basis. The inflation report is set for release tonight. And US fourth quarter GDP has been lowered from 0.7% to 0.5%. US Treasury yields slightly lower, the 2-year slipping to 3.78%, the 10-year at 4.29%. Australian 3-year government bond yields are above 4.6%, the 10-year just below 5%. US dollar index down around 1/3%, and the Aussie dollar has climbed to 70.8 US cents. Oil prices remain volatile as the fragile Middle East ceasefire holds. However, prices rally into the market close as Saudi Arabia said its oil production capacity had been cut by around 600,000 barrels a day, or 1/10 of Saudi crude exports, due to attacks on energy infrastructure. Brent crude futures settled up more than 1% at close to $96 a barrel. Gold gained more than 1% on a support from a weaker US dollar. Spot gold trading at around $4,765 an ounce. Copper is little changed. Iron ore fell almost 3% to $106 a ton. And Bitcoin is trading above 72,000 US dollars. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again on Monday.